Is Aaron Rodgers getting traded? News breaking right now, essentially. Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio is reporting that the Green Bay Packers already have deals lined up between the Broncos, the Steelers, and the Titans if Aaron Rodgers decides not to stay in Green Bay and accept the big deal that they're potentially offering him. And reports earlier today were suggesting that Aaron Rodgers is really struggling and is torn between his decision of going elsewhere in 2022 or playing again for the Green Bay Packers. But apparently retirement is off the table. Let's break it all down right now. The Fantasy Football Show begins now.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
This is crazy. It's 2:53 a.m. my time. It's about, 4:53 Eastern. I'm going to try and be as quiet as I can be in Casa de Smitty because everybody's asleep. And here I am at 2:53 a.m. my time. I don't believe Aaron Rodgers is being dramatic. I think Aaron Rodgers is making a tough decision. I think he's given football his whole life, and he's contemplating what direction does he want to go. How does he want to paint the picture about his legacy moving forward? Does he want to go to a new team like Tom Brady did and win a Super Bowl and kind of shape his legacy that way? Or is he feeling loyal and wants to go back to Green Bay? What's going on with Davante Adams? Now, a lot of the cap that's being cleared as of late has been assigned to a lot of Packer hopefuls out there that they're bringing A-Rod back. They're making room, but the truth is they're still so far over the cap. They're well over $20 million over the cap. All these moves have turned it from 30 to 20 something million over the cap. They're not giving Davante Adams a long-term deal if they lock Aaron Rodgers up, nor do I think Davante Adams wants to sign a long-term deal if in fact A-Rod is elsewhere. Maybe they tag him and trade him. Just because Rodgers is gone doesn't mean Adams won't be tagged and traded or not tagged at all. Maybe Green Bay goes in a total rebuild mode, something Rodgers has alluded to, like, I don't want to be a part of a rebuild. I don't want to be a part of a rebuild. Now, this report's interesting from Pro Football Talk. Mike Florio talks about how retirement's probably off the table now because he's talking about these four teams. And we don't know truly where this information is coming from that's being fed to Florio. He is well connected. Sometimes he's wrong and off base, but I don't think this would emerge from nothing. But the key to this whole report is that, as Florio puts it, the Packers already have potential trades laid out with the other three NFC teams if Rodgers decides that he doesn't want to stay in Green Bay. A decision sounds like it's going to be on the horizon, and it certainly needs to be done before the start of the new year, which is March 16th. The Packers are still the favorite according to this report, but Rodgers has the ball in his court. I don't know that the Packers are the favorite here. I know everybody says that, but I think Rodgers has alluded to not wanting to stay in Green Bay more than he's alluded to that he wants to. I think momentum feels like it's in the Green Bay corner because he said things like things have gotten better. This time last year, he had no intention of staying at all. In fact, he barely played 2021, and he actually held out, if you remember, to knock a year off the contract so that he could get out of there after 2021. But, he decided that maybe he does want to contemplate staying. A lot of people think Green Bay is the favorite, but I kind of feel like right now the winds are shifting a little bit. I think maybe sentimentally he wants to stay in Green Bay, but when it comes time to make the decision, I think all the problems in his mind in Green Bay are surfacing, and I think he's really thinking about his last 2 years, what he wants his legacy to be, watching Tom Brady move environments and winning a championship for another team, and how that could add to his legacy. As much as I love A-Rod and as much as I respect the cockiness and arrogance of the man, I do. I respect it. I don't hate it at all. A lot of people hate him. I love Aaron Rodgers. And part of the arrogance of the man is wanting to prove to people and leave a huge legacy. And what better way than to go into another organization and win another championship? Everybody says he only has one title, but if he wins with another team, he has 2 championships with 2 different teams. And he gets the kind of support and commitment to allow him to be involved in personnel, to get the wide receivers he wants. Let's break down each landing spot. Pittsburgh would be probably the best fit, the most ideal, the most ready to win. Tennessee could be too. I mean, you got A.J. Brown. Julio Jones I don't love, but Aaron Rodgers could get a little bit out of him. And A.J. Brown and Julio together would be just a dream come true for Aaron Rodgers, to be honest. And if Derrick Henry has even close to his old self left in the tank for even half of a year, if they dial him back and they keep him healthy, he won't be the same guy producing the same stats. But if you dial him back and then unleash him in the playoffs a little bit, this team could win a Super Bowl, no question about it. But back to Pittsburgh real quick. You've got Deontay Johnson, you've got Claypool, and I wanted Chase Claypool to get drafted by the Green Bay Packers so bad during that NFL rookie draft, and I thought he was a shoo-in to be a Green Bay Packer, and they passed on him. The most ideal fit for Aaron Rodgers, like a receiver / tight end. You give Aaron Rodgers Deontay, Claypool, and Najee Harris to dump the ball off to, with a good defense, with only the offensive line to work on. And you got the whole draft and free agency to do that. So I don't want to hear, oh, their offensive line's bad. The moment you add A-Rod to the roster, that offensive line improves immediately. A quick release, a quarterback that spreads out defenses is an instant cure for a lot of offensive line issues. Not that they won't address it, but if you add the fact that they will address it as best they can in the draft and free agency, and A-Rod has a quick release and spreads defenses out, you're not facing the same scheme ever again with A-Rod under center versus Big Ben, versus the Big Ben of late. If Aaron Rodgers is in Pittsburgh, Najee Harris is maybe even a 20 TD running back. He's already going to be a 14, 15 TD guy. You give him Aaron Rodgers, give him 3 or 4 more receiving touchdowns, this guy is going to be a 20 TD back. This team, this Pittsburgh Steelers team, would easily be a top 2 or top 3 team in the NFL immediately. And who doesn't want to play for Tomlin? Probably the most ideal fit, in my opinion. Then you got Denver. You've got Sutton, Cortland Sutton. You've got Jerry Jeudy, who's probably a top 3 route runner in the NFL. Devontae Adams is the number 1 route runner in the entire National Football League. Do you think it's a coincidence that Aaron Rodgers happens to play on his team? Aaron Rodgers helped turn this man into a top 1 to 5 wide receiver and number 1 route runner in the NFL. Jerry Jeudy has no quarterback, has had no quarterback. He's an amazing route runner, but you need the football. You need the football placed in certain areas for a guy like Jerry Jeudy to do well. I don't know that Jeudy would ever develop in the current conditions he's in, but if Aaron Rodgers lands in Green Bay and Jeudy can stay healthy, to the moon. Noah Fant, top 5 tight end. Javonte Williams instantly becomes a 15 plus TD running back immediately. And he catches way more footballs than we could have ever hoped for. Javonte Williams is a 2,000 total yard running back with over 15 touchdowns. And Aaron Jones type receiving production. Mark my words, if A-Rod lands in Pittsburgh or in Denver, Harris or Javonte will take some of the 1.1 shares from JT. Maybe JT still 60% the 1.1 to everybody on planet Earth, but you will see people starting to poke around at the idea of drafting Javonte Williams or Najee Harris, whichever running back ends up with Aaron Rodgers at the 1.1 on the regular, enough to get like 20-30% of the shares of the 1.1 ADP. Of the 3 locations, for some reason I'm feeling Pittsburgh right now. I think Denver's a close second. They're almost tied for me. Pittsburgh, Denver, Denver, Pittsburgh. I think Green Bay's probably near tied for Pittsburgh and Denver. If we put Pittsburgh and Denver in one bucket and Green Bay in another, the odds of him going back to Green Bay feel about equal to him going to either one of Pittsburgh or Denver. What evidence do I have for that? None. That's my gut talking. I have a funny feeling this weekend's going to be pretty busy for me, and I'm going to be jumping on emergency live streams. So stay glued to my channel. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the thumbs up. Ask me a question in the comments. Give me a prediction on what you think is going to happen in the comments. And have notifications turned on. Hit that bell. Smash it. Because if I go live on an emergency live, you're going to want to be alerted to jump into the conversation as we talk it out. And get your text advice, your one-on-one text advice all year long at sleeperu.com.
Now get out of here. This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.